Respect and manners to all that's tuning in. Mantigo Baby here again with another episode. Today we are dealing with some porridge thing, and we're and I kind of contemplate which porridge we want to start it off with, because you have a lot of different porridges that Jamaicans actually do. But today we'll start it off with some plantain porridge. So we'll try to make this short and sweet. Not a lot to get this thing done. We'll try and wrap this up really fast. You can have this for breakfast, lunch, or even dinner, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Depending on your likes and what you want to do. So I'm glad you guys joining me again. Let's get right to it. Bless. Alright family, so this is the basic layout we have right here. We have 2 whole plantains that we're going to go ahead and peel and cut. And then we're going to go ahead and also blend that to get that started. We're going to be adding a little salt. We have a little cinnamon, little nutmeg, and some brown sugar for sweetening. Straight natural thing. We also going to be putting some coconut milk to start it off as well. Gonna get some coconut milk boiling, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in the blended plantain to that, and then start getting that cooking, to get things started. So that's kind of where it is. It's not a lot, like we say, it's not a whole bunch of stuff going on here. It's straightforward, direct, and it's gonna be amazing. All right, so let's go over to the other side and get this thing cleaned up and get blended. Bless it. Okay family, so we're over the side here now. We'll get the blending started. Before I do, I want to show you here. So we have about a full cup of coconut milk here. So we're going to put that on the stove, and then we're going to turn on the heat a little less than medium high right there. We're going to go ahead and get this to a boil. We're going to go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of salt to this, just to get it started. Okay, so we had a teaspoon of salt to that, and then just go ahead and get that boiling. So we have our plantain here, have it all cut up. We have 5 cups of water here in our blender, and we're gonna go ahead and add the 2 cut up plantain to this water. All right. Go ahead and add all that in. So basically no rocket science to this thing here. You're just gonna go ahead and get this thing blended, okay? So you're gonna go ahead, put this on the blender. Alright? And you're gonna go ahead and get it blended. So check back with me. Alright, so we have this thing well blended here. Like I said, no rocket science, just make sure you blend it out properly. Okay, and then we have our coconut milk starting to boil, so we're gonna want to go ahead and add in your blended plantain. Okay, so just go ahead and add this. Okay, if you have a little whisk like this, it'd be better to use, because it breaks it up a little bit better for me than a spoon or anything like that. So let's go ahead and just give that a decent little mix. Okay, just to kind of start it off. Beautiful. And one thing I might do when this gets halfway done, I might go ahead and add a little bit of oatmeal to add texture to this. Okay, probably about a half a cup of oatmeal. So basically just give this a decent little mix. Make sure you're kind of mixing all that coconut milk. Even though when it starts to boil, it's gonna mix anyway, but you want to give it a little mix there. And then you're gonna go ahead and cover this. You're gonna cover this and you're gonna get it to a boil. Okay, make sure you keep your eye on this, because this thing can easily boil over once it starts to boil. So just keep your eye on it. Don't turn it up too high, a little less than medium high here. Just make it go on run. Once it start boil, you pull the top, and then you're gonna continually eyeball this and stir. Okay, so give it a little time to let it get heated up. Once it starts to boil, make sure you get a mix in between that getting hot. you want to kind of mix it. You don't want anything lump up, okay? And once it get to a boil, then we can give it a mix and just kind of eyeball it. This is gonna probably cook for probably about 25 to 30 minutes, okay? So let that do its thing and check back with me. Alright, so we have things boiling up here. Go ahead and fold that top. Alright, so what you're gonna do is turn this down to medium. Okay? Remember I told you during this process you want to keep mixing. You don't want anything to stick on the bottom or anything like that. Want to keep it moving, okay? Kind of get a nice little mix. Look nice and thick there. Looking beautiful. Alright? Alright, so what we're going to do to add a little bit of texture to this is we're going to add a little bit of oatmeal. I have about a half a cup of oatmeal here. Go ahead and mix it in. Okay, just gonna mix that in here. And this is a half a cup, okay? Just introducing a different dynamic, you know? Keep mixing that in. Mix that in. Just like that. Alright? So we have our oatmeal mixed in. Now we're gonna go ahead and add a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg. So we're gonna do a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, just like that, and a half a teaspoon of nutmeg. All right, move that around. Okay, and you're gonna go ahead and mix that in. Okay, so once you fully mix this in, you're gonna go ahead and cook it. You can either crack the top of the pot or you can leave it open. It's up to you. But you know how thick this is, I don't think it's gonna be boiling over, so I may just crack the pot. But you keep your eye on it. Don't lose sight of it, because you don't want it to boil over or anything like that. So come back up, leave it on medium here to finish its process. Like I said, 30 minutes total is the cook time. I think we have already gone 15. So we are gonna just finish it off. And then once it's cooked, we're just gonna lock off and then sweeten, okay? No surprises here. Alright? Check back with me. Alright, so full 30 minutes have passed here. So what we're gonna do is gonna go ahead and turn this off. And we get into the sweetening process. So the reason why I put the top and cracked it like that is for A, so the thing won't boil over, and B, when this porridge is hot, it tends to pop. You know, splash little all over the place. So that the top kind of shield from all of that, you know. So we're gonna add about a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract here, just to give it a little bit more dynamic to your porridge. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and add some pure brown sugar. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how much sugar specifically to put for your liking. You know, this is for my liking, how sweet I want it. But by all means, you know, taste as you go along and sweeten it to your liking. Okay. Let me go ahead and add. And then remember, you mix during the cooking process. You always want to keep this moving. You know, mix as you go along, as we like to say. So you keep everything evenly distributed, and also you know, from sticking up too much in the bottom there. You know, so if you have a whisk, you know, it's the best thing to kind of use, because everything can kind of flow through. Okay. me add a little bit more sugar. And then I'm gonna go ahead and taste and see where I'm at. Okay. And I mix that in. And normally I try to keep this on the hot stove that I just turned off. So at least it'll still have that little heat element underneath the pot while you're sweetening it with the brown sugar. So it can melt. You know, it can melt quickly. Even though the porridge itself is hot, but you still want to keep that heat element underneath the bottom to keep this thing, you know, melted fast, you know. Alright, so eat a good mix here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and taste and see where I'm at with flavor. Okay. Alright, so personally I'm going to add a little bit more sugar to mine, you know, just to kind of top this off the right way. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and mix this around here, and that should be my final little element of sweet. Now go ahead and get this plated and show you how everything look on the other side. So check back with me. Alright, so give thanks and praise, family, for another blessed day, another blessed episode. Everything is completed and we're ready for the game. As you can see, me already have my cup ready to go. When me make this thing here, boy, I tell you, you have to try to eat this thing hot. Not too hot, but just right, you know what I'm saying? And it's just thick enough to stick to the ribs when I eat this thing here. So, you know, it was a pleasure again, you know, showing you guys what I love. So like me always say, from my one to you, my home to yours, Montego baby, one love, more love, righteousness, signing out. Bless you.